Elon Musk with $164 billion. But after all the turmoil at his companies, that made a dramatic dent in his wealth.
From the small luxuries like owning some of the best cars in the world, to the unbelievable ones like owning an entire town, Elon Musk has it all. The Tesla CEO has shocked the world by becoming the ultimate richest man in the world, valued at a whopping $260.8 billion. Alongside that, he has broken the record for the longest-standing CEO of an automobile company, which is Tesla. But when he's not busy running his companies or building a conglomerate, he indulges himself in the most luxurious lifestyle. And today, we will be looking at just what Elon Musk owns to understand the billionaire lifestyle of the richest man in the world. Elon Musk just made the most surprising purchase of all time. He and his associates acquired over 3,500 acres of land in Bastrop, Texas. The land, which lies 35 miles outside Austin, has been named Snailbrook, referencing the Boring Company's mascot. And the vision behind the land acquisition is actually a Texas utopia along the Colorado River. Elon said the land would develop into a utopian town that would feature prefabricated homes with amenities such as a pool, outdoor sports area, gym, and a charter school. But this isn't Elon's only shocking land purchase. Back in 2021, Musk announced plans for another city, Starbase, in Boca Chica, Texas, approximately 350 miles from Snailbrook. These heavy land investments and town creation projects were attempts to address the high cost of living for SpaceX and the Boring Company workers, especially as SpaceX employees have a significant presence in Boca Chica. However, Musk also has plans to build a private compound nearby for his residents. This proof of his extravagant lifestyle mirrors his entrepreneurial success, with indulgences ranging from designer fashion and exotic cars to private jets and lavish holidays. He made headlines last summer when he was spotted chartering the Zeus superyacht in Mykonos, Greece. Renowned for his high-profile lifestyle and luxury travels, Musk made headlines last summer when he was spotted chartering the Zeus superyacht in Mykonos, Greece. The yacht is a very impressive 79-foot vessel, operated by the most luxurious yacht charter company, Northrop & Johnson. Elon easily made the headlines as its sleek design and lavish amenities captivated onlookers. It boasts of 4 luxurious cabins accommodating up to 8 guests and a modern minimalistic interior design that creates a spacious and comfortable ambiance. Its expansive outdoor deck space, sun deck with sun loungers, jacuzzi, and spacious dining area allow for the most comfortable and relaxing vacation, which Elon was seen having. During his adventure, he reportedly explored the Greek islands, enjoyed its stunning scenery, and visited some local hotspots with the yacht. And the shocking thing about all this is the fact that the daily renting of the yacht alone costs a fortune of $7,171, which Elon spent in a heartbeat to have a luxurious holiday. But his lifestyle wasn't always this opulent. In fact, he wasn't even born into a rich family. Elon was born to a South African father and a Canadian mother on June 28, 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. He first showed signs of entrepreneurship and a love for computers when he crafted a video game at the age of 12 and successfully sold it to a computer magazine. However, his environment didn't let him thrive because of the apartheid in the country. So in 1988, when he acquired a Canadian passport, Elon decided to leave South Africa. His unwillingness to endorse the apartheid through mandatory military service and his pursuit of enhanced economic prospects led him to the United States. And so, his new journey began. Elon first enrolled at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, eventually transferring to the University of Pennsylvania in 1992. There, he diligently studied and ultimately graduated with bachelor's degrees in both physics and economics in 1997. Thinking his path was in academics, he ventured into graduate studies in physics at Stanford University, California. However, in just 2 days, he dropped out from Stanford after just 2 days when he discovered he was sitting on a potential gold mine. Actually, he created this gold mine back in 1995 when he was still in university. He founded Zip2, a pioneering company that provided online newspapers with invaluable maps and business directories. The success of Zip2 was massive, and just 4 years later, it was acquired by the esteemed computer manufacturer Compaq. The acquisition fetched him an impressive $307 million. This was the starting point of one of Elon's biggest projects. With the ideas and newfound money he had, he entered the realm of online financial services, establishing X.com. This venture eventually metamorphosed into the widely recognized PayPal today, a platform that facilitates online money transfers. And shortly after he created it, eBay acquired it for a huge sum of $1.5 billion in 2002. His billionaire lifestyle began here. One of the most beloved cars from his collection was purchased after this acquisition by eBay. His McLaren F1 was purchased for approximately $1,000, just after the sale of PayPal. This car became a notable part of Elon's automotive journey, and it almost cost Elon his life as well. Fortunately for him, the car merely crashed, and he and his friend Peter Thiel came out unscathed. But that mere incident changed his perspective on things, and the billionaire lifestyle took a backseat again. His quest for transformative ventures continued to grow, and this time, he dived into something entirely different. Due to his resolute belief that the survival of humanity meant becoming a multi-planet species, he founded Space Exploration Technologies, aka SpaceX, in 2002. Elon's vision for SpaceX was basically the development of more cost-effective rockets, and this endeavor materialized in the form of the Falcon 1, which was launched in 2006, and the larger Falcon 9, which was inaugurated 4 years later in 2010. These rockets were meticulously designed to substantially undercut the costs of their competitors, which they did. But the major breakthrough came in 2018 with the unveiling of the Falcon Heavy. This marked a huge milestone for SpaceX, boasting a payload capacity of 117,000 pounds to orbit, which was nearly double that of its largest competitor, the Boeing company's Delta Ivor Heavy, at a fraction of the cost. Elon also revealed the Super Heavy Starship system as the potential frontier of the SpaceX company. He envisaged it as a paradigm-shifting successor of the Falcon Heavy. The system would encompass the Super Heavy first stage, capable of lifting a remarkable 100,000 kilo to 220,000 pounds to low Earth orbit, with the Starship serving as the payload. Beyond its orbital capabilities, the Starship is also envisioned for expedited Earth city transportation and the establishment of bases on both the Moon and Mars. The inaugural test flights of the Super Heavy Starship system began in 2020, and it served as a proof of Musk's unwavering commitment to advancing space exploration. He also shows commitment to the vision of SpaceX and space exploration by taking on the role of chief designer in addition to his role as CEO. He oversaw the development of not only the Falcon rockets but also the Dragon spacecraft and the groundbreaking Starship, and in turn, SpaceX's contributions have extended beyond ambitious space exploration goals to solid contributions like the contract to construct the lunar lander for astronauts slated to return to the Moon by 2025 as an integral part of NASA's Artemis space program. But Elon wasn't only building SpaceX back then. He took an interest in the potential of electric cars, which he subsequently turned into the automobile company, Tesla, in 2004. Originally, it was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, but it later emerged as a beacon of innovation under Musk's guidance. The transformative journey began in 2006 with the unveiling of the Roadster, an electric car that was unconventional at the time, as it embodied the characteristics of a sports car. With a remarkable range of 245 miles on a single charge, and the ability to accelerate 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds, the Roadster marked a huge leap in Tesla's future. But Tesla's trajectory reached great heights in 2010, when it secured approximately $226 million in funding. From then on, Musk manufactured groundbreaking models, including the highly acclaimed Model S sedan in 2012, and the luxurious Model X SUV in 2015. Notably, the Model 3, unveiled in 2017 as a more economically accessible option, surpassed all expectations and became the best-selling electric car in history. With the achievement of this huge feat, Musk picked back up his abandoned billionaire lifestyle and made a lavish purchase. Musk purchased a huge mansion in the upscale Bel Air area of Los Angeles, valued at a combined $17 million. The mansion boasts an expansive 20,428 SQFT with amenities such as a gym, 7 bedrooms, tall ceilings, a wine cellar, and a swimming pool. And it was only the first of the 4 Bel Air mansions he purchased. His second purchase was the acquisition of a ranch house previously owned by Gene Wilder, which he turned into a private school for his children. In a Vogue interview, he whimsically described it as resembling a little schoolhouse on the prairie, though it was situated in the affluent Bel Air neighborhood on a golf course. The Bel Air mansion spree continued with his acquisition of 2 additional properties. One, which was an under-construction mansion purchased for $24.25 million according to Variety, and the other, which was distinctive, according to a 2013 Business Insider report, was valued at a combined $70 million. His diverse and opulent real estate portfolio reflects Musk's inclination to luxury living. Eventually, he put his innovative and entrepreneurial vision behind, instead choosing to focus on running his 3 companies and living a life of luxury. He began to dress rich, indulging in expensive fashion unlike other famous CEOs. Unlike Steve Jobs, who sought Issey Miyake's expertise to craft a discreet black turtleneck, and Mark Zuckerberg, with his iconic gray t-shirts which projected a free-spirited CEO persona, Elon Musk was different. He was less inclined to conform to these established norms of the minimalist looks of tech CEOs. Instead, he collaborated with designer Emily Dawn Long to revamp his wardrobe around ruggedly masculine icons like young Harrison Ford and Paul Newman. His most notable look was in 2018 at the SXSW in a vintage leather pilot's jacket and engineer boots. He sought to evoke the spirit of intergalactic exploration, while discussing the necessity of colonizing Mars with that outfit. And over the years, his fashion sense has evolved. He developed a swaggering signature style, and he is believed to no longer work with a stylist. A recent sighting in April showed Musk in a video at a SpaceX facility, where the wind billowed his oversized graphic t-shirt around his tapered black jeans. But fashion isn't the only thing Musk has a passion for. His fervor for automobiles is also evident in his collection of exotic and high-performance vehicles, which have most of the world's most prestigious automobile brands. One notable car in his collection is the Jaguar 1967 E-Type, which is a classic convertible. And although Musk's experience with this particular Jaguar has been less than ideal, it is a notable part of his automotive collection. In addition to it, he has a fleet of everyday cars that scream luxury. The Audi Q7, Porsche 911, and BMW M5 sports car have a spot in his garage, which showcases his appreciation for performance and versatility in his choice of vehicles. But as the owner of Tesla, Musk's electric car collection extends beyond conventional cars. He is the owner of the Lotus Esprit submarine car used in the movie The Spy Who Loved Me, which was acquired at an auction for $920,000. However, his innovative ideas and entrepreneurship spirit kicked in again when he made his plans to acquire Twitter public in April 2022. But way before he made his plans public, he had been a part of the company from the sidelines. He joined the social media platform in 2009, swiftly amassing a substantial following which exceeded 85 million by 2022 under the username Elon Musk. But his acquisition plan of Twitter was very difficult to actualize, especially because of the many controversies he created on the app. In August 2018, he made a series of tweets proposing the privatization of Tesla at $420 per share, with claims of having secured funding. This led to legal repercussions as the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, filed a securities fraud lawsuit against Musk, stating that the tweets were misleading. And despite the initial resistance from Tesla's board, Musk eventually had to reach a settlement that included relinquishing his chairman role for 3 years, pre-approval of his tweets by Tesla lawyers, and fines that totaled $20 million. Beyond personal controversies, Musk extended his engagement with Twitter by criticizing their policies regarding the principles of free speech, particularly because of their content moderation policies. By April 2022, his involvement moved from mere tweets to the acquisition of over 9% of Twitter's shares. This move was a bid to acquire the entire company, initially valued at $44 billion and later revised to $54.20 per share. Twitter's board surprisingly accepted Musk's bid, envisioning him as the sole owner. And Musk wasn't quiet about it. He made ambitious plans for the platform, stating his intentions to enhance it with new features, make algorithms open source for increased trust, combat spam bots, and authenticate all users. But his plans were short-lived, because by July 2022, Musk opted to withdraw his bid, citing inadequate information on bot accounts and stating that Twitter was in material breach of multiple provisions of the purchase agreement. A legal battle ensued, which led to Twitter's shareholders voting to accept Musk's offer in September 2022. Thus, he became the new CEO in October 2022. He wasted no time implementing significant changes as Twitter's owner. His initial actions were substantial layoffs, the introduction of a subscription service allowing users to purchase blue checkmark verification for $8 monthly, and the dissolution of Twitter's content moderation body. He even reinstated several banned accounts, including that of former US President Donald Trump. But unlike his other companies which were on the rise because of his investments and decisions, Twitter faced challenges. The advertising revenue dropped significantly because companies were not in support of Musk's ownership, so they withdrew ads in response. But Musk remained undeterred and redefined the platform by renaming it from Twitter to X in July 2023. Despite his plans, he has not been able to do much since he became CEO due to the series of controversies that he is currently navigating. He has a potential $1 billion penalty related to his earlier withdrawal from a $44 billion bid to acquire Twitter. Additionally, he faces allegations of an affair with Nicole Shanahan, wife of Sergey Brin, his longtime friend and co-founder of Google. Furthermore, news emerged that Musk secretly fathered twins with Siobhan Zilis, an executive at Tesla, and all this happened within the past 30 days. Musk is also being accused of fostering a toxic culture of racism and sexism within the companies he leads. On June 15th, both former and current black employees at Tesla filed a lawsuit alleging racial discrimination. This came after Musk paid $250,000 to settle a sexual misconduct claim against him in 2018 from a SpaceX employee. Despite these scandals, he has managed to remain CEO to all his companies except Twitter, which he voluntarily resigned from in June 2023. Since then, Elon Musk has reclined into his comfort and allowed only exclusive access to himself, as opposed to his initial free access persona. Most recently, Musk confirmed that he would be attending a gathering organized by Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's right-wing political party in Rome. Musk also reportedly accepted the invitation to be a guest at the Atraju Festival, which is a 4-day event, also organized by Meloni's people. This exclusive access has also made Musk meet more famous people who have, in turn, gifted him some of the most expensive things. Renowned celebrity jeweler Ben Baller recently created a unique diamond ring adorned with Tesla's name and logo as a gift for Musk. In an Instagram post, Baller expressed his admiration for Musk's inspirational role and credited him with motivating both himself and his friend Paul, who also owns a Tesla Model X P100D. This custom-made Tesla ring, valued at $37,000 according to Baller, marks the first-ever instance of the jeweler gifting a personalized piece to anyone. In his Instagram message, Baller also stated the significance of the gift. He attributed it to Musk's role in inspiring people to elevate their endeavors and push boundaries. Also, the gift was to commend Musk for his contributions to the American job market, with him providing nearly 50,000 jobs and re-establishing America as a strong player in the automobile industry. In addition to his indulgence of luxury jewelry, he travels lavishly. Musk travels in only his private jets, which can afford him the level of comfort and luxury he needs. His private jet fleet is huge and comprises 2 Gulfstream models registered at Falcon Landing, an LLC associated with SpaceX and Tesla. The Gulfstream G5550, which is his latest addition, has a passenger capacity of 17, but has been customized for a sleeping configuration. But the G650, which is one of the other aircrafts in his fleet, boasts of a larger size and flies faster, which makes it Musk's favorite jet for his journeys from California to Texas. His private jet preference for travel underscores his commitment to the luxurious and billionaire lifestyle. During his travels, he pampers himself even more by opting for stays in only 5-star hotels. These accommodations, which are renowned for their impeccable service, top-notch amenities, and exquisite lodgings, always provide him with a haven of comfort and extravagance in whatever place he journeys to. He only makes exceptions on extremely hectic days to take on unconventional sleeping arrangements like resting on the floor in the conference room or on a couch at his factory. Asides those days, his overall lifestyle reflects hard work, opulence, and luxury in the best ways possible.
Demand for electricity is going to be extremely high.
Are you optimistic about the global economy or pessimistic?
Pessimistic.
The official policy of China is that Taiwan should be integrated. One does not need to read between the lines. One can simply read the lines.
Even assuming the sort of current economic usage, electricity per capita being constant, you're looking at roughly a tripling of electricity demand.
If you say, like, there's really only one thing that matters from an environmental standpoint for carbon, which is that we are taking billions, eventually trillions of tons of carbon from very deep under the earth and transferring it to the atmosphere and oceans. That's actually really all that matters, is taking vast amounts of carbon from underground where it's buried and moving it into the atmosphere by burning it. And if you do that for long enough, eventually you will get climate change.
The Chinese economy and the rest of the global economy are like conjoined twins. It would be like trying to separate conjoined twins. That's the severity of the situation. I'm simply saying that that is their policy, and I think you should take their word seriously.
We've had a government, I'm talking about the U.S. now, that in 2000 we had an $8 trillion deficit. And today we have a $33 trillion deficit. So the deficit's grown by more than $1 trillion each year over the last 23 years. That is highly inflationary. The balance sheet of the Federal Reserve is highly inflationary. And so all these different measures are much more structural, much more difficult. So as a result of that, interest rates are going to remain higher. Opportunities for investors are going to be able to be very patient. You could do nothing and enjoy a positive return.
In anything that is a product or a service where there's not artificial scarcity created, such as, like, I want to live exactly in neighborhood houses. It's like, okay, well, there's only 100 houses there, so that would still have scarcity. Or a unique artwork would have scarcity. But anything that does not have scarcity that we deliberately designed to be scarce will be plentiful for everyone.
If you just do the rough back-of-the-envelope math, you need to roughly triple electricity to get to a fully electric economy. Roughly a third of power is electric, and then these are very rough numbers. Roughly a third is spent in transportation of various kinds with fossil fuels or hydrocarbons, and then roughly a third is heating.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but every economist in the world now is saying it's a soft landing, and it looks like we've avoided a recession, which all leads me to believe we are absolutely headed for a recession. It's going to happen, I think, in the first half of next year, and it's two primary drivers. There's a lot of little ones, but there's a bunch of little ones. Student loan repayments are about to begin again, which puts a drag on people. Debt, the interest rates acceleration here, 525 basis point acceleration in interest rates really hasn't been felt in the economy. And every month, more and more people have to refinance their house and wake up to a mortgage rate that's mortgage interest payment that's 40% higher than it was.
There is fundamentally an issue that's coming to a head with Taiwan, and it's unclear when exactly push will come to shove, but it seems that there's a good chance push will come to shove. It's trending in that direction. I dread to think what would happen. The results would be for the global economy would be absolutely catastrophic. But China has been very clear about its goals on China and including Taiwan as part of China. So one does not need to read between the lines. One can simply read the lines. They are very clear.
You have a political, you have a monetary, you have a conflict type of environment. At the same time, you have the greatest inventiveness. We talk about this fabulous technology development that has so much potential to produce wonderful things, and then it could be a problem. So if you take the time horizon, the monetary policies that we're going to see and so on will have greater effects on the world. And you look at the world gaps, so it's difficult to be optimistic on that.
Well, there's even more that comes out of China. So China does so much of the world's heavy lifting on manufacturing, especially if the manufacturing is, simply hard work and say not particularly glamorous. China just does an immense amount of hard work. that most people have no idea how much hard work they do.
If effectively a recession is kind of you roll the dice and a 6 comes up, it's a recession for 12 or 24 months. And some people would argue recession is healthy. We've been rolling the die 15 times and it's never come up 6. We're just due. We're just due. And it looks as if a lot of different things are going to potentially dampen the economy, and that we'll have 2 quarters straight of negative GDP growth, and then the other things.
China and the rest of the world being conjoined twins from an economic standpoint will mean that the separation is going to be dire indeed. That happens. I hope it does not happen. And there's no easy solution here. But if there's any path to a diplomatic solution, we should really take that seriously.
But the other stuff, it's anecdotal. I was at this conference yesterday, the Nordic Business Forum. I was just speaking to a lot of different businesses, and you can tell things are starting to feel a little wobbly. And even weird stuff. I travel a lot. For the first time, I'm starting to see these crazy prices start to come down. So it just feels to me like the economy is starting to grind a little bit and starting to slow down. And I think when we wake up in 6 months and another 10 or 20% of households have had to refinance their mortgage at much higher rates.
But it is a tremendous amount of hard work, as everyone here knows, to actually put that generation in place and then transport it to where it gets used, and then dealing with the peaks and then taking advantage of the valleys of power production.
And then all these, it strikes me we are due, and I would bet it's first half of next year. But you know what? The great thing about recessions is they always happen at, and the great thing about them is that they always end.
So are you expecting a hard landing or a soft landing in the United States, or you just can't project?
We will not see a hard or a soft landing in 2024. The amount of fiscal stimulus that is just entering the economy, which is very inflationary. The CHIPS Act, the IRA, and the Infrastructure Act, about $970 billion. The largest peacetime, non-pandemic moment of fiscal stimulus. At the same time, our central bank is trying to arrest the economy.
And there was a recession, and he got fed up and turned it back to the bank. You could move in and buy it for at a great rate. The bottom line is catastrophe or economic strain, not even catastrophe, is a rebalancing of power from the old to the young. And we've decided that if 1.2 million people die, that would be bad, i.e. the pandemic. But if the NASDAQ went down, that would be tragic. So we're going to spend trillions of dollars propping up boomers and capital.
Well, there's fundamentally three pillars to a sustainable energy future. One is sustainable energy generation, which is solar, wind, hydro. I'm actually, a fan of nuclear. Basically, any electricity where you could say, okay, this is not going to meaningfully change the chemistry of the climate and oceans, the atmospheric oceans. And so, so you've got sustainable electricity generation on one side, then you've got stationary batteries as the second pillar, which is needed for any kind of intermittent electricity production. And by its nature, solar and wind are intermittent. So batteries and solar and wind go together extremely well. And then the third pillar is electric transport. Even if you take all the steam engines and everything and divide that by total number of humans, power usage per human, thermal, electrical, otherwise, was minuscule 200 years ago, and even less 300 years ago. Now it is incredibly high, and it is rising. And this is, and you're going to see, I think, a lot of electricity usage by the sort of neural net data centers as well. Those are heavy power draws. In fact, I think one of the scaling constraints for AI is going to be power availability. They are quite power hungry. So you've got basically average energy usage per person increasing dramatically, and a transition from burning hydrocarbons to things that are more sustainable. Anyway, the point is it's going to be 3x current, and I think that 3x number is probably happens around 2045. fish. So this is the thing about exponential growth is it really is counterintuitive. We've actually gotten very good support in China. Tesla has the only fully foreign-owned car factory in China. And we do very well in the domestic market in China. And our Shanghai factory is our highest performing factory globally. So it's a very impressive team that Tesla has in China. And, the work ethic there is incredible. We are entering a phase where the U.S. will not be the biggest economy in the world. And there's nobody alive today who can remember when the United States was not the biggest economy in the world. So it's going to be a little probably discomforting at first to a lot of people to have China be probably 2 or 3 times the size of the U.S. economy. China is actually, of any large country, the most forward-leaning with sustainable energy. So they have massive solar projects, wind projects, and have done the most with respect to electric vehicles of any large country. Of smaller countries, Norway is the leader, but for any very large economy, China is by far the most forward-leaning for sustainability. Well, I mean, the aspiration with these various things is to maximize the probability that the future is good for civilization. So it's the future is just a set of probabilities. Like we don't know, for sure what's going to happen.
I think as long as American consumers hang tough and continue to do their part, continue to spend, I think the American economy will continue to move forward. And all the factors that you consider when considering consumer spending look pretty good. Lots of jobs. You mentioned the 4%. Sub 4% unemployment rate. Wage growth is now stronger than the rate of inflation because of the throttling back of inflation.
I speak as someone who is very much an environmentalist. I believe in building a sustainable future for the world. I think that there are very few people who, as an individual, who have done more than I have to help the environment with electric cars and solar and batteries to create a sustainable energy future, because we absolutely need a sustainable energy future. But there is an aspect of the environmental movement that I think has gone too far.
Really, said from you?
Yes. So, said from me, I think I am objectively one of the world's leading environmentalists in terms of doing things.
I would say so.
Like, I'm an environmentalist who does things. I'm of action, not talk. I act. So I feel I can say, as an environmentalist, that the environmentalist movement has gone too far. And in that, in the natural extension of the environmentalist movement, if you go too far, you start to look at humanity as a bad thing. You start to look at humanity as though we are a plague on the surface of the earth, as though humanity is a bad thing. And in fact, there are some people who think and say explicitly that, in fact, there was on the front page of the New York Times, there was a guy who said, there are 8 billion people on Earth, it would be better if there were none, which is crazy. Now, I think the climate change alarm is somewhat overblown in the short term. It's still a concern in the long term, but I think it's exaggerated in the short term.
Great.
Now, I have to try to thread the needle here between what is pragmatic and what is sensible, what really matters and what doesn't matter. What really matters is that over the long term, over the course of the next several decades, that we gradually reduce how many millions and billions of tons of carbon that we remove from underground and to the atmosphere, because we're running sort of a climate experiment that is dangerous. But I also don't think that I think of it as a fundamental civilizational risk. It's not going to destroy life on Earth, it's not going to destroy humanity, but it will create hardship if you change the climate over many decades. So I think my message is I think much more pragmatic and I think correct and sensible. And I don't think we should demonize oil and gas. I think we should say, look, that is obviously necessary in the short term and the medium term too, and it'll take several decades to become sustainable. So I think if we just, without getting too worried about it, seek to have a sustainable energy future gradually, then that's what will happen. And so, but I think that some of the environmentalist movement is part of what is causing people to lose hope in the future. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that we should have hope in the future. We should be excited about the future, and we should build the future we want.